One big problem I do have here is let me say first, I don't mix with the foreigners here. No, absolutely not. I only had one foreign friend, a Canadian, who borrowed money off me 14, 15 months ago, and I don't have a lot of money, and has never paid me back. I never will pay me back. But I generally mix with the locals because I like them. The one problem about that is most people here know very little about the world and outside the Philippines, even inside the Philippines. Not because they're stupid, it's just that they're so busy with the business of staying alive and raising their kids that they just don't concern themselves with foreign affairs and outside events, which I do. Political analysis and stuff is important. And I finally found a couple who are very worldly wise and well travelled, Filipino couple, but they live 70 kilometres away from here, so if I want to go and see them, I've got to ride down and their names I mentioned this in daily ranting. Their name is Chi-Chi is the guy. How he gets that nickname, I don't know. And the lady's called Ern, and she was the cook, chef, I think, chef, the way she cooks, every time she was chef, for the Danish ambassador to Oman, and he and his family liked her so much, they would even take her on holidays, European holidays, would take her everywhere, like a member of the family. He was with them 30 years. When he got assigned to another country, he arranged for her to stay there as well. So Ern especially, not so much the husband, but he's very nice though, quite rarely, you know. Ern is just fascinated to sit and talk. He and she have a little eatery on the side of the road, 12 kilometres this side of Catalina, and over the road is a small beach, it's a rocky beach actually, quite nice, and that has been in Gigi's family, Gigi's grandfather, so he's 71, we're talking, you know, at least 100 years back. He was granted this small stretch of beach, and what they do now, they've got tables and chairs, and they rent out, a bit like people here, they're not so fancy, down there not so fancy at the moment, they rent out to people to come and swim and, you know, and eat, and it's the little eatery. She prepare you anything actually. She makes the most fantastic omelets, really good chef, and they're very nice people. Now, the funds to open that eatery were given to her by the Danish family, and she has big plans for it, and I'd like to get involved and try to help, because, for example, they have space for tables, because they have tables, but it ends up Gigi and his friends will take up one half of this and just sit there all day chewing the fat. Oh, which is great. So, you know, if you're passing by, it doesn't look as though the place is worth stopping at. So anyway, and she'd like to attract foreigners. There are foreigners who live locally who do come down with their kids and go on the beach. But anyway, my pension comes in today, I hope, and then on Sunday I will ride down there and spend the day with them. Very nice couple. I have to stay out of the sun actually. We go into this business of UV factor, and my oncologist said, oh, you've got to watch the UV, we will send you a forecast every day. Just send you an email. And if it's above 7 or 8, 7 or 8 out of what, I don't know, you should know. And I said, well, okay. If I wear all my motorbike gear, including my full face helmet, surely that will protect me. I said, yep. Just make sure you've got some high factor cream on the open part, because the visor won't protect you from UV bounce. And now you're okay to do that. So I go around in the sweltering heat, looking like a spaceman. Anyway, never quite worked out this UV business, and I spend a lot of my life in the tropics. This sort of developed in Ukraine, but I don't think it's from Ukraine. I think from all my years out in the bush in Africa and then in Uganda. So it would appear that is my lot now, and I said, what about if it's raining? I said, the UV can't be that high then. He said, yeah, you've got a point there. And then I thought about it, hang on. It came up in conversation that ultraviolet can penetrate, which gives you sunburn. Actually, that's the part of the sun's rays gives you sunburn. Can penetrate 30,000 feet above. So, I thought, hang on a minute. So if it's raining, above the cloud is the sun, and if the clouds are 30,000 feet or less, then the UV is still coming through. I decided not to worry myself. Well, worry myself. It's one of these, what comes first, chicken or egg? You try and research things like this and you just get lost. In fact, when I go on Google, I'll start researching one thing and see something interesting. I'll go off on a tangent and forget what I was actually looking for. Well, now the sun is behind this cloud. It's strange because I actually brought down the setting camera. There's something wrong with everything I have. And I've got my little laptop in for service and repair and whatever, overhaul at the moment, but my big one, the Asus, needs to go in as well because it's the network adapter, which is what connects with the Wi-Fi, doesn't work, the internal one. And I think the USB connections don't work very well because, for example, I plugged in what I call the little guy. This is the one, the camera. There are two identical cameras. One for my bike. After I take it, I took a very good film with it yesterday, so it's working all right, and it charged. For yesterday, anyway. Sometimes when you plug it in, it's not actually charging. And last night was a case in point. It had been all night, so it should have been fully charged. Anyway, I brought down the motorbike one, which hasn't got a fitting for the bike, but I've sort of clipped it on the handlebars to give you this little film and very boring dissertation on UV and everything. But I can't ride along with it, so when we leave here, I have to switch it off. I don't want to drop it. They're not GoPros, but they're not exactly cheap either. GoPro is something like $50 something. It's a lot of money to me, well, anyway.